Hey everyone. This is basically a RAG model that I have made. So what is RAG is basically a retrieval augmented generation for short, basically it's RAG. In a nutshell, I have created a model that uses Google Gemini as the underlying tech stack. So what this model does is basically lets you upload a PDF and then you can ask question based on it. Now, if you are not familiar with the term RAG, like if you want to understand it, and in brief, what RAG is basically it combines two approaches. One is it first retrieves the most relevant part of the document, and second, it uses a language model to generate an answer in the natural language. What that means is that we don't have to shift through the pages of text to find what we need, and the model does the heavy lifting for us. Now, other than that, it can be, I would say, not divergent, basically extended to different parts. For example, here it's PDF, but it can be extended to a text or like a CSV or something like that. It can also be used to various other use cases for like an implementation of a chatbot or something like an internal tool where you make it understand like this is my stuff and I want you to give answer based on that. You can put a cron job and there are various use cases. So like for this example, I have used a PDF to basically learn about RAG and also like make me understand or like increase my expertise on Python. That's one reason I made it. Okay, and now the second part is some technical details about it. So, like if I upload a PDF, what happens is like how does it actually gets the data? So first is the DB itself, which I use ChromaDB. Now, if you don't know what ChromaDB is, it's a actually a vector DB where you can it use it for storing data for n dimension, not in a single space, but n dimension. Now, what if you say n dimension is basically when train a model, it doesn't resides with like one dimension data. It might have multiple dimensions to it so that we can get the data more correctly. So for that, we can't use traditional databases like SQL or like NoSQL. We need to have a vector DB. Different examples would be FSAI or something similar to that, or ChromaDB. For example, Pinecone is also a great example, but I didn't use it because Pinecone is kind of a heavier database and it's mostly used for production grade software. And for the learning purposes, I thought, why not go for ChromaDB? So it fits the bill perfectly. So that's the only reason I have used ChromaDB. Apart from that, there are 2 points which are the most important part here. One is embedding, and second is retrieve. Now, if I have to deep dive more on embedding and basically how it works is basically we divide the text into chunks. In the RAG system, embeddings are basically how we turn pieces of text or like the context that we give into numerical vectors so that basically the model can understand and compare them. I used overlapping chunks when I split the document into sections so that each pieces of text has a little bit of overlap in them. What actually uses or like what actually is the use case for that is that we can get better results. Like if there are some overlaps, we can have some common ground between different chunks of data and we can get better results out of it when we might not have like overlapping data. For example, if we have two different texts which does not overlap, the model can hallucinate or the model can not give correct answer based on the question that we ask. So it's generally advised to keep some overlap. You can do it like a lot, like you can keep lot of percentage of your data in overlap, but if you do that your chunks will definitely increase a lot and henceforth increase the accuracy of the model, but the database will take a hit because it will have to store a lot of data because of this overlap. And second, searching and retrieval becomes hard because as I said, the data becomes too large to handle. Now basically, second part of the context is retrieval. Now, how do you retrieve? the document that you provided. Like it's not in a natural language, it's on a n-dimensional space. How do we retrieve it? For this, we use different LLMs. Might be OpenAI, might be Gemini, might be DeepSeek, or something like that. So based on that, we give them the chunks of context, and they give us the answer in a natural language. So as of this, here in this project, I have used both Gemini's model. One is embedding and one is 2.5 Flash. Definitely, there are better models out there which you can try, even like local open source model like Olama, where you can use it to run locally and get the result. But I had some credits in my Google Studio, so I use both of the Gemini's app. Basically, the choices like chroma DB, overlapping chunks are mostly used to get the retrieval accurate, and the answers basically when they come are more reliable. So basically, that's the backbone of the whole backend, I would say. Other than that, the front end is basically like for styling purposes and all, but most of it is pure backend. I was more focused on backend, like how to build stuff and something like that. And here it's just an interface. I mean, even I started with CLI because I thought like it's more important. Then I thought, why not make it a full-fledged app? So that's why the front end is there. But I have put some work, like front end is in Next, and obviously on latest tech stack, and backend is definitely on Python. And also, I have Dockerized the backend so that I can upload it, and probably you will get the link above where you can personally use that. Also, I have mostly taken account into more like free stuff. So even the deployment isn't free. I have deployed it on the vendor if I am not wrong, and if it has some, I would say, laid back into it, which results in, let's say, 15 minutes on inactivity, then it would like close the backend. So it's a problem, but still it works. So I don't have a problem based. So if I have to like make it go through the project, this is basically the upload section. Now, I did have a database data with me. Like this is a Monopoly instruction manual. I got it from like net itself. You can definitely use any PDF you have. But if I upload it, then it will read the context, put it into embedded, basically on the DB, and here's the basically text part where you can ask the question. Now, if I ask it like, what is like Monopoly about? And let me bring the inspect element page. If I go here, if I go into the response itself, like you can see this is the context. I have kept it into five different contexts. Like this is the first context. It gets the second, this one is the second, this one is the third, this one is the fourth, fifth, and similarly, like there are five different chunks that are being held together. Obviously, there are some overlap based on that, and the LLM is providing me with the answer. Like monopoly is the property of a trading or something like that. So if I ask him like how can we play as you can see here, like it hallucinated. Like if I ask him how could like we play it, it did hallucinate. But if let's say I ask him more direct question like how do we play Monopoly? Monopoly. Probably it will give me that. Yes. So as you can see, the models are not exactly accurate, and the documentation you have to be ensured that it has adequate overlap, it has adequate the instruction, then you will get the proper result based on that. So like this is basically the whole project to basically learn what RAG is, what basically how it works and something like that. So yeah, this was the entire project. If you want, you can go through my GitHub repo and see how everything works. It's mostly that. And I will see you in the next project, I guess.